Hello to you newcomers and welcome back subscribers. This is Big Baby Props and I'm the Big Baby. And welcome back to our Z-6 Rotary Cannon redesign video series. In our last video we left off completing the main body that you see here. We hollowed it out a bit to make it easier to print. And now we're going to keep going. In this episode I thought we'd tackle this cage looking piece here. So the first thing I need to do in this is we can't have this big gaping hole at the end of our main body here. So I'm going to want to create a sort of lid that can fit on it with friction alone. So one of the things I needed to do after I did some looking, I think I'm going to need to cut away a little bit from this main body so that we have more room to work with this thing. So for that we can select extrude and just select this edge profile here and cut it back a little bit. I think that should give us enough room. Okay, so to create the lid, let's create a sketch and let's do it on this face. So in order to create the lid, I'm going to add a circle. We're going to use center diameter circle. Select our center point. Go all the way out to this edge so that it will be a good lid for us. Okay, there's our outer circle. And we're going to need an inner circle. And one more circle that's just most of the way to the edge. I'll explain why in just a second. Okay, let's get rid of our canvases for now. Let's create the part that's going to fill this hole. So this is going to go inside. Now the reason that I didn't go all the way to the edge of the circle here, that would make sense. It'd make perfect sense if you're modeling. Unfortunately, when we go to print this thing, we don't want it to be exactly the right size. Otherwise, it's going to be a real pain in the neck trying to get it to fit in. So we're okay with it being a little bit smaller than it needs to be so that we can push the thing in and we can add glue if we need to. When you're 3D printing it, it's going to have all these very, very small imperfections in the object that we can't see, but you might have problems getting it to fit. So that's why I didn't go all the way out to this outer edge when I modeled the inside circle. So you can't really see it, but this is going to extrude in, and we want it to be a new body so it won't be part of our main body here. So we'll hit OK, and if we hide our main body, we can see that it is now inside of it. And now we can model the top of the lid. So let's go to extrude. We need our last sketch back. We'll select this circle. Actually, we need all of the circles so we have a complete lid. And we'll go out about another 1/4 inch. We want it to join with our other lid object, but I'm going to hide the main body just so it doesn't try to join to that. So we'll hit OK, and there we've got our lovely little lid to cap off our main body. Okay, next we need to tackle this cage here. The way I think I'm going to do it is to create a inner body that connects to our lid here, and then create an outer shell that will slide onto it that includes all these little holes you see here. That way the holes aren't completely see-through and you have a nice base to compare it to. So let's get to sketching. We need another sketch. Let's go on the X-plane, add our center line that we're going to need. We want our inner body to be a little bit thinner than our outer body, so I'm thinking we go somewhere like in here, go all the way to the edge there, and then drop down. I think we also want to include these two rings to this body. So let's, I'm just guesstimating here, bring it out and down. And we'll go out again, bring it up to the same height. And back down. Now, I didn't make sure that these two lines are equal. So what we can do is go over to these sketch constraints here. We can select equal, and you select your first line, you select equal, that will set the second line that you click on equal to the first. So there we go. Now we know they're exactly the same. And now let's just close off this body here so that we have a nice profile. Okay, we've got our profile here. We can go back to create and revolve. Select our center axis. And there we go, looking good. You know, that now that I'm thinking about printing it, I might actually make these rings separate, because when you go and try to print this, you have to consider the amount of supports that are going to go into it. So say we place this end on the print bed. Let's rotate it here. This end on the print bed, we're gonna have to add a ring of supports around here so that it can handle this ledge, but we'd also have to make supports all the way up here to cover this edge, and then some more up here on this edge. If it's just a straight cylinder up, we can just print it without the need for supports other than these down here. Oops. Let's go all the way around. So let's cancel that, revolve, and edit this sketch and draw our lines in there. And now we can revolve again just those pieces, and we'll join it to the lid piece. Okay, now we can go back in, oops, not create sketch. We will want to, oops, nah, what's going on? Delete that last one and edit this one. So like earlier, we're going to create these rings, but we don't want them to be absolutely flush with our main body. So I'm going to add just a little tiny gap in between the two of them. There we go. Now we can revolve these, and they will be just ever so larger than the main cylinder. Yes, we want them to be new bodies. They'll just be a little bit larger than the main cylinder body, so that it should just be able to friction fit. Otherwise, we'll be able to add some glue to it that will fill in the rest. So hit OK, and now we have these two lovely rings here. let's go ahead and start naming these, because when we get a lot of bodies going, it's going to be complicated. So main body 2 will go lid and cage internal, and then we'll go cage ring 1 and cage ring 2. Helps if I can spell. All right, now we're going to build the cage with the holes in it, so we can hide some of these. Let's hide all our objects actually. So it looks like it has a pattern of 4 holes, then 3 holes, and then 4 holes again. If we can look at some of the other ones here, that has just 3 and 3. That one might be hard to tell. I like how this one looks better. It's kind of an alternating pattern, and I think it'll be fun to make. So this is going to be a little bit trickier. Let's edit this sketch, and we'll add another line here. So we'll go to about right there and create revolve, and we'll revolve. Actually, we're going to want the same sort of idea as the others. So let's make this just a hair smaller than the other one. Perfect. And I know when you're 3D printing, you can change the scale of an object to be a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger. I like to just have everything modeled in a way that fits right when you print it, because nothing sucks more than printing the huge main body only to find out that it's, you know, it's too big to fit together. So we'll go to create revolve again, and we'll just have it be, we won't fill in that side over there. Otherwise we won't be able to slide our rings on. Oh, the object's not visible. Huh. There we go. We want this to be a new body. We don't want it to connect to our lid and cage. So there we go. That looks good. Stop being invisible. Okay. So now we've got a nice sheath onto our lid and internal cage, and there should be a nice little gap in between them. All right, get rid of that. Now we can start cutting the holes out of this guy here. So now we need to create a sketch for the holes that we're going to make here. Let's do a new sketch. Add a nice little center line. Let's go both ways. And we need a center diameter circle. Let's try and get the center there. It's 0.750. And you can see that there's rows of 4 holes and then rows of 3 holes. So what we're going to do is rectangular pattern and up this to 7. Go all the way out and meet it with the last one. Yeah, good enough. That way, when we go to cut out of our exterior shell, we can cut out these 4 for the 4 rows and these 3 for the 3 rows. Now let's create and revolve. Center axis. Let's show it. We do not want it to join with the lid. We want it to be its own thing. So we select new body. And ta-da, there it is. Now we can start cutting from it to fill in the holes. So let's show our latest sketch. Extrude. And we will, oops, let's hide that body. Hide that sketch. Okay. We'll first extrude our 4 rows like so. You can see it trying to cut out of the external cage, which is what we want, but not quite yet. So what I'm going to do is select new body for these, and it's going to create 4 rungs for us, and it'll make sense later. So now select those 4, I don't know what to call them, tubes, and we'll go to create pattern. Just like our sketches, objects can be circular patterned, rectangular patterned, or even patterned on a path. We're going to go circular pattern, select, let's grab the center line, and you can see it's trying to create more objects. So let's up this, I think 5 might look good. Let's look at the other one. Let's show the bodies. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, 6. And 6. Okay. That's going to create a lot more bodies for us. But that's okay. So now we can extrude our 3 circles. I really hope this works. I did it a while ago, and I don't remember how it worked. So this is going to be new bodies. Okay. And let's circular pattern this again. Now we don't want it to be 6 because that's what the other one was. Actually. So if we double that, it will create another, it will create the tubes in between the 4 tubes. So we had 6 of the 4-hold tubes. We're going to have 12 of the 3-hold tubes. There we go. That's a big mess right now. Let's start cleaning it up. So let's start selecting bodies that we can delete. That's one. This is going to go all the way around in a circle. And we will delete every other one since they will already be aligning. Does that make sense? We need one more. Where are you? It's going to be way at the top because we created it earlier on technically. That's okay. We'll delete those. That deleted everything. Why? How about remove instead? That's better. Okay. Fusion can be a little bit confusing sometimes. I am also not a master Fusion guy. So that's okay. We will remove those. And now we'll need to do it again. So now we're on the outer row. That one, that one, that one, and that one. And that one. So we're deleting all the ones where they are supposed to be a 4 row. So remove. Now, who are you? There we go. Okay, looking good. Remove. We've got a few stragglers. We'll remove you. And then remove you guys. That should be all of them. So you can see it alternates a pattern of 4, then 3, then 4, then 3. All right, now we can show our main body again. And let's select all of our rungs. Oh, how do you Boolean combine in this? Okay, combine. We will combine all of them into one body. Let's hide our outer body there. We'll join them all. So the ones that are touching are now one body. So let's show that again. I forget what we just did. Or how we just did it. Combine. There it is. We will cut. So we got our tool bodies. There we go. We got our target body, which is the body that is going to be cut. And we got the tool bodies, which are the cutting tools, essentially. So select cut and OK. And we missed some. That's okay. Modify, combine. This is our target body, and this is our tool. Okay, look at that. That's a nice holy cage. And it's going to fit right over our little cage internal here. That is going to fit right into our main body. So all of these should slide together. One thing we will do is, like the main body, this is solid, so we're going to need to hollow it out. So we'll use our handy shell command, bring it in, maybe 1/4 of an inch again. Did it not like that? There. That way it should be a lot easier to print. Here is what we're going to do. We've got it shelled, but we also need a hole to the main body so that it can so that the motors and electronics and everything can fit through it, as well as make it lighter and easier to print. So what we're going to do is take out half of it, leave half of it empty, cut out a small circle out of it so that the rod through the middle of the gun that's going to spin, that it will spin all the barrels and everything, can rest in there, and maybe we can add a bearing in there or something that will reduce the friction. So here's what I'm thinking. Let's add a new sketch. here. We'll add a line down the middle. Oops. And then a center diameter circle. I don't know how or what the diameter of the bearings we're going to use are. Right now I'll just go 0.75 inches because that's going to be 3.5. Because that's going to be the diameter of our center rotating rod. So now we can extrude. We want this, actually we want this top half to be cut out as well as a hole. So let's cut the main body. Actually, we're not cutting the main body, we're cutting the lid. So now we have a nice little hole for electronics to go over, but also for a place for the center rod to rest on so that it won't wobble. We can try and fix it to that place. Okay, I think that's enough for one episode. We got the cage in, we got the lid, we got the rings. That's some good progress right there. In the next video, let's see what we might want to do. In the next video, we might do barrels. I think that'd be fun. I do barrels, the sight. I think that'd be a good goal for next video. So I hope to see you guys there. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Have a great day.